Hello, whoever that is. Come walk with me. I would appreciate it if you walk with me. Just come along for the walk. It's in a birdhouse. I'm getting my cool down in, everyone. So thank you for coming in here for a second, whoever you are. Hey, cool gamer. Hey, cool gamer. How are you? How was your weekend? You still have a little bit left. Got a little bit of the weekend left. So I hope you've been enjoying your weekend. I have. I got a lot of sleep this weekend. Yep, I got a lot of sleep in this weekend. So I should be ready and refreshed, right? Ready and refreshed for work. Can always use a vacation though. Always. People have been cleaning their yards. Now we just need them to come get it up. Get it up, get it up, get it up. But whoever is in this live, hello. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for walking with me for a few seconds, for a minute or two, however long you decide to walk with me. Because I need to walk. And if anybody else out there needs to walk, wants to walk, or desires to walk, I suggest you do the same for good health, help you with your energy, release those endorphins, any kind of cardio activity. Just move. Move, move, move. Don't be stationary. Don't be a couch potato. Don't sit so much. Move, move, move is good for you. It's good for your heart, your mind, and soul. It's good for your joints. It's good for your joints. If you have any joint issues, be careful. Take your time. You don't have to run a marathon. Just move. Just move. One foot in front of the other. You can do it slowly. You could pick up the pace and do it moderately. Preferably moderately at least, but whatever fits your physical capacity. Whatever fits your physical capacity. And you can pick it up and go. Pick it up and go. Pick it up and go. Just move, just dance. Dance, ride your bike, skate, ride your bike, dance, swim, ride your elliptical, ride your treadmill, walk your treadmill. Just do something, and thank you for the heart. I welcome any and everybody who's positive, who's striving to be better, like myself, because we're all human. And I think every human being on this planet has room for improvement. We do. We have room for improvement. So just walk for good health, walk to feel good, walk for good mental health. It contributes to your mental health. It gives you some time to just unwind and release. Unwind and release. Walking is good for you again, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. For those who don't want to walk for, exercise, you can walk to just get in tune with nature. Get in tune with nature. Get in tune with your own environment. Hey, that green vegan. Just walking. Just walking. Been walking every day. I walk every day after I exercise. So I'm honestly just cooling down. You've been gone for a long time. We walk every day. We cool down every day. When it's too cold, I stay inside on the elliptical. Yep. So we're walking for good mental health, good cardiovascular health. I'm cooling down, so I'm in the stage where I'm bringing the heart rate back down. People, meet new people, and just spend some time on here. Just spend some time on here. And hopefully YouTube is continuing to pump us out, push us out, so that new people can come. I feel like when you get stuck in a rut or you get stuck in a certain area, you're just kind of stuck. And there are two ways to undo that. Watch different content, vary up your content, and YouTube just pushing us out in this long form. That's a good thing. I like it. You get people, a lot of people you don't know, but that's a good thing. Hello. Sure does. So, you need that mental release, that physical release. So I exercise and I come on here to do my cool down, my Let's Walk and Talk cool down. But it's really my Let's Walk and Talk live, because the cool down usually goes, a traditional cool down is like 5 minutes. 10 if you just enjoy it. But I come on here to do my cool down. Like I always say, my warm up is my appetizer. My exercise, my full out exercise is my entree. And my cool down is my dessert. So right now I'm having my dessert. That's my thing over here. My appetizer, my entree, and my dessert. They are my warm up, my exercise, my cool down. And the goal is to hopefully encourage myself, first and foremost, to continue to exercise regularly, but to also encourage others. You don't have to exercise daily if that's not your thing, but at least 3 times a week is good. At least 3 times per week is good. It feels good. It's good for you. I'm with you in spirit. Okay. Good. That's good. It's kind of noisy that way. It's always noisy. It doesn't matter what time of the day I exercise and I come out and decide to do my cool down. It's noisy. Again, I hope everyone who comes across this live or the live replay has had a good weekend. I hope you've had some time to relax, release, relate, resolve, and refocus. Refocus on a new week. Y'all know how we do. We pick out letters, and the R word, the R letter, is the first letter to many words of positivity. Regroup. Relax, release, relate. Sometimes we have to relate because we often don't relate to things that we should. Regroup, resolve, and refocus. Refocus on the things that you want to do the goals that you have, and ways to get there. Ways to get there. Remove. Sometimes you have to remove. Remove some things out of your way, out of your psyche, out of your mental. Sometimes you have to remove. Sometimes we have to remove things from our diets. Sometimes we have to remove some of the things that we encounter by going a different route. If you see something that's not appealing when you're dropping the kids off, find a different route. If you see something that you don't like about your home, fix it. Don't keep putting it off. Fix it. Or at least get started. Get started. So we focus on the R word. R. Why do I keep saying word? The R letter a lot because it is the beginning to a lot of good, positive words. It is. We focus on the word self, SELF. So we focus on different things. It could be any letter, any day. Any letter, any day. And again, I encourage each and every one of you who come across this live to know that whatever you're going through, you're not alone, I promise you. Sometimes it's some of the strangest things, but you're not alone. And if your thing happens to be really, 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 really unique that you're going through, guess what? Somebody else is going through something that's really, 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 really unique as well. All right? All right? Somebody else is going through something that's really unique as well. And they're trying to figure out, like, how does this happen? Why is this happening? What do I do? And sometimes when we've done all we can do, first of all, you have to leave it in God's hands, first and foremost. And you have to be guided by Him. And He'll guide you. He'll allow you to use the wisdom that you've acquired over the years to take you to the appropriate places, to seek the help that you need, to do certain things that you know yourself that only you can do to help you in the situation. And you just keep at it. You just keep at it. You just keep at it until it starts to get better. You just keep at it. And if you can, be a support system to someone. Be a part of somebody's support system. Because you never know what people are going through. Just like people never know what you are going through. So try to surround yourselves with people who will truly support you. A lot of times, a lot of us are solo dolo. We're not very trusting. And for good reason, because you can't really trust anybody in this world these days. If it's not your kids, your parents, and I want to say your significant other, but the way breakups are these days, there are some things you probably can't even trust with your significant other. And that's sad to say, because you should be able to. You should be able to. You should be able to tell your significant other, your spouse, your husband, your wife, anything, and it not leave the two of you or whoever you two decide to trust. But it happens. It happens. So I'll honestly say, yeah, you're supposed to be as one. But a lot of times, the people that you can trust the most are your children and your parents, your siblings, your children, your parents, and your siblings. That Green Vegan says, you're saying everything I need to hear. Really, Green Vegan? See, that's how He works. That's how God works. He knows when we need to hear what we need to hear, and from whoever we need to hear it from whomever we need to hear it from. Sometimes I hear things from those I least expect that make me feel differently, that make me feel better, that contributes to my mental state. It could be a commercial, to be honest with you. It could be a commercial. It could be a movie that I'm just that I just happened to catch that I probably wouldn't normally even watch. You know, sometimes you just hear the right things from places you least expect. And sometimes you hear the right things from those who you do expect to hear them from. Um, so that's life. That's how it is. Sometimes you hear the things that you don't need to hear from those you wouldn't expect that from. You know, and like I said, it's because we're human. Sometimes we hurt each other, and oftentimes we hurt the people who are closest to us, whether it's family, friends, or coworkers. Sometimes I know we don't all feel like it, but our coworkers are close to us. If you work a job, a full-time, even part-time job, you spend how much of your time at work? You know, probably about 50% of the week you're at work. So even though everyone at work doesn't get along, at some point there should be a rapport should be established. A certain type of rapport should be established, whereas that's like your second family. You know, whereas that's like your second family. It should. It doesn't go that way for everybody. I know some people who they are screaming to leave work. They're just looking for another job, and it's just like that sometimes. But there are some people who, when they get a new job or, you know, they have to move, they cry like babies because their job has been their second family. Their job has been their second family. And they've established rapports with so many different people. Some more so than others. It's just like family. You have a rapport with certain family members that you don't have with others. You may be closer to a cousin than you are your aunt, your uncle. You just never know. It just depends on your relationships with them. So we talk about self a lot. SELF, that four-letter word. Selfish isn't always a bad word. Sometimes you have to be selfish, you know. Nicole, from Nicole's perspective, she threw in one, self-control, that we hadn't really focused on a lot. And a lot of times, that's our problem or that's someone's problem who we love. The lack of self-control. The lack of self-control. So, and not everyone has a lack of self-control, but just saying for those of us who do, we have to be willing to acknowledge our flaws. And lacking self-control is a flaw. Unless it's a happy situation, you know. And even then it can be a flaw because you can leak information. Like if your family's planning this big birthday party for someone really, really special in the family, and you have some family members who just can't hold water in a bucket. They can't hold the water in a cup. They spill it intentionally. And sometimes they just spill it because they can't contain themselves. So self-control, the lack of self-control isn't always a bad thing, but even in that situation, it's not good. So we need to practice self-control, more self-control. Um, First and foremost, self-love, self-care. If you have family, you don't take care of yourself, you don't love yourself, how can you be fully there for your family? How can you be fully there for your family? So you have to have self-control, a degree of self-control. You have to have a lot of self-love and self-care. A lot of us don't have that, but we're working on it, right? Aren't we? Aren't we? Whoever's coming through this live, we're working on it. Self-respect. A lot of people demand self-respect, even command self-respect, but some haven't earned self-respect. I mean, other respect. So how do you respect yourselves? You know, they command respect, demand respect, and a lot of times in a lot of situations, they don't even respect themselves. So how can you demand and command respect from others? How can you? How can you? I was so focused on the word self. But I mean the respect that you command and that you demand from others. If you don't show respect, first and foremost to yourself. Because if you respect yourself, hopefully you'll understand and learn the ways to respect others. So if you don't do that, how can you command respect from anyone? So have self-respect and respect for others. Respect for others. Yes, ma'am. We are work in progress. Yes, 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 daily. Daily. We are. We are. I don't I don't think I think sometimes I think everyone knows that they're a work in progress, but then you do have some people who are pretty arrogant, you know? They feel like they're just right, 100% A-OK. And I think we all have room for improvement, all have room to progress. You know, can we be perfect? I don't think so. But there are some people who are close. To be honest, there are some people who are close. I know for many of us, it's the patriarchs and the matriarchs of our families, or the elder spokesman, like the eldest auntie, the eldest uncle. But guess what they'll tell you? They will tell you that they're even still works in progress. They can be 70, 80, 90 years old, 100 years old. And they'll say, yes, what you see now is the calmer me. It's the me that learned how to treat people better, the me that learned how to treat myself better. And I'm telling you this because that's what they tell me. That's what the elders in my family say to me. And they tell you, don't make no mistake. They have not always been what we see them as. They've lived life as well. They've done a lot of dirty things, ugly things, some more so than others, some not so much at all. But something has happened. They've done something in life that they, improved on, that they saw that they need improvement and they did. So the great grandparents, the aunties and uncles, the great uncles and aunties, yeah, we probably think that they're perfect. And at this state in life, a lot of them are the closest thing to it. But they will tell you that came with age, That came with age, and that came with making mistakes, and that came with wisdom. It came with wisdom. It came with gaining wisdom. So, you know what? I think the closest human to perfect is a newborn baby. It's the newborn baby. That's the closest that anyone will ever be to perfect in their lives. And sometimes even babies have to go through things medically. But we're talking about personality, the way people treat people, things like that. A newborn baby is the most perfect you'll ever be. So don't beat yourself up for not being perfect at 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75. See, at 65 and 75, again, you'll probably have people, grandchildren and things like that, nieces and nephews, who think that you're the closest thing to perfect. But they just don't know. They weren't around when auntie and grandma were kicking it in their teens and 20s. They weren't around. So every generation has done something that they probably wish that they hadn't done, and they can't change it. So they take it as a learning. They take it as a teaching tool. They take what they've learned from their mistakes and they use those as teaching tools. I think as parents, we don't get the book on how to be perfect. We don't. There are some things that we look back on, even if you were the best parent, never even yelled at your child, never got mad. There are some things you probably look back on and you figure, you know what, I could have done this a little bit better. Maybe it would have taught them a little bit more discipline. And if you don't have that issue, maybe you'll say, well, maybe I should have been a little bit stricter on what I allowed them to eat. Maybe. But if they turn out good overall, then you've done your job, because nobody's perfect, remember? You've done your job. And for those who look back and they see quite a few things that they should have done differently, well, guess what? You've learned from that. If you have grandchildren, don't take over your children's role. Let them be parents, but you can contribute to the upbringing of your grandchildren and do it differently, and maybe soften the fall for them in a bit, in a way that you felt like maybe you were too strict. Because sometimes our kids, they grow up and they raise their kids just like we do. And sometimes they grow up and raise them totally different because there were so many things that we did that they didn't agree with. You know, our kids are individuals. Even though they come from us, they're individuals. And so when they start to have kids, they feel like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's what mom and dad did. Or sometimes they carry things with them that you did, and they appreciate it, and they apply those things to the upbringing of their kids. But as a grandparent, as an auntie, as an uncles, you've lived a little bit longer, of course, because you're the grandparent. The auntie, well, aunties can be younger, but you've lived a little bit longer. And hopefully your children are open to taking suggestions. Hopefully it's not a type of relationship where it's like they just hate the things you did so bad till they don't want to hear anything that you have to say. They're going to do it their way, you know? And even in those type of relationships, children realize that, maybe not initially and not at first, but they realize that parents sometimes look back on things and wish they had done them differently. So when they're helping them with their children, or if it's your niece or nephew, you know, you're trying to help them not to make the same mistakes. But you have to let them, you have to let them handle it. But just let them know that, yeah, I can't criticize you because I'm not perfect, but I'm just trying to, help the situation. Trying to, honestly, I'm a reminder, like they said, maybe I didn't do it the way you wanted me to. But also don't go so far from what I did that you just lose control. You lose control. I think every generation should be here to help the upcoming generation. Hi, M3. Every generation should be here to help the upcoming generation. Even if you didn't agree on some of their ways or some of their tactics, try to accept some of it. Because as we get older, as each generation gets older, we learn a little bit better. And we start to do things, or we can make suggestions from the things that we did that were wrong, or the things that we did that ended up being not so good. So just listen to an elder and teach a youth, okay? Listen to an elder and teach a youth. I don't care if you're 50, 60. Listen to someone who's 70 or 80. Now, if they're full of junk, of course, we have to be able to decipher. But if they're telling you something that is of worth, of value, take those nuggets, take those jewels. We call them nuggets over here. People drop nuggets. So when people drop nuggets and jewels or diamonds, pick them up, brush them off, and use them in a way that helps you. Use them. That Green Vegan says, I'm an elder. Hey, Joshua. Well, see, but I bet you're an elder. But guess what, Green Vegan? There's someone older than you. There's someone older than you. Joshua says, hi, Green Vegan. There is someone older than you. And I bet you that there is someone who is, whether it's a member of your family or someone who, is old enough to be an auntie, an uncle, or a parent. I bet you there's someone around you that has some wisdom, that has some knowledge that you may have, but they may be able to present it to you in a different way, and you can apply it to yourself in a better way. In a better way. Joshua says, I'm 32 years old. I'm an adult. Yes, Joshua, you are. And Joshua, be nice in the chat. Be polite in the chat. And don't say anything that would offend someone, Joshua, in the chat. You're welcome as long as you keep it positive and mindful of other people's feelings and respectful. That Green Vegan is speaking to M3 and Joshua. So yeah, that Green Vegan, if someone's 70 years old, if they have an 82, 85, 90-year-old elder, yeah, that 70-year-old has probably ran these streets and done things and, learned a lot of things and has so much wisdom to pass down to someone who's 60, 50, and of course, the youth. But I bet you there's still something you can teach them. I bet you there's something a 70-year-old person can still teach that 60-year-old. 80-year-old person can still teach that 70, 60-year-old. And we're not really looking for people to teach us things. But I'm just saying this because oftentimes we encounter people and situations, and just to simply put it, we learn from them. We learn from them, no matter what their ages are. We learn from young people. We learn a lot from young people. But I think as adults, our job is to learn from an elderly and to teach a youth. Joshua says, thank you so much. I'm great. Hi, Tinkerbell. Welcome into the live. Oh, Lord. Tinkerbell is a troll. Tinkerbell says, I'm shy. I know Tinkerbell is a troll because nobody asked Tinkerbell if she was shy. Tinkerbell didn't have to tell us that she was shy. And that's the typical troll line. I'm shy. Shout me out. Y'all, you have to laugh at it, though. It's funny. Like I said, now when you go live on this long form, YouTube pushes you out more. So more people see you, and that's a good thing. So with most good things, sometimes something a little unsettling or something a little crazy comes along with it. And that's called, we get more trolls, okay? So they're trying to help us out by pushing us out, which is good. I appreciate you, YouTube. YouTube, I appreciate you. You are appreciated. How many of us on here actually ever tell YouTube that they're appreciated? But my, oh my, we do get some trolls. We do get trolls. But that's okay. That's okay. That's a view. And trolls hang around as long as you aren't being mean. If you're a nice troll, you can hang around. That Green Vegan says, I agree with you. Yeah, I think a toddler could teach a 70-year-old, Because you have so many people who into their 40s, 50s, and 60s, they're mean. They're just mean. Their kids will even tell you, mom was just so mean, dad was so mean, so strict, or so this or that. But the moment that baby is born, that first grandchild, or it may not even be their grandchild, it may be their niece's child, their nephew's child. When they become some type of grand in some form, sometimes it changes. And I hear people every day that say, they love their children, but the love you have for grandchildren, when you're having your kids, you think that's the greatest love ever until you have grandkids, because that's a further extension of you. Of course, your kids come from you. You love your kids. But then to see your children have children, people tell me that that's a love that is like out of this world. They don't love their grandchildren more. And some people say they do. But it's just the fact that, it's just a whole different, when you have kids, it's a different kind of love. It's a love that you've never known or that you haven't felt. It's kind of like your parents have, but you haven't. And so, with your kids, you go through things, you learn things. And so with your grandchildren, you're somewhat better prepared. And that's why I say, children, allow your parents to help you. Parents, don't overstep, because they have to be parents like you were. It's the hardest thing, they say, for some grandparents to kind of sit back and let their children raise their children, because they want to be a part of it so much, as they should, as they deserve to be. But sometimes they overstep. And sometimes you need your grandparents to overstep. A good grandparent stepping in is great, because that grandparent will help that parent, even though the parent may not be so happy about it. They'll help them to, maybe pump your brakes. I wish I hadn't have done it that way. I know I'm not you, and I know this is your child, but it's my grandchild. And you just have a certain love for grandkids that, like I said, it's not that you love them more, but it allows, the love that you have for them is so deep. Sometimes it kind of kicks you and reminds you of how much you love your children, honestly. So sometimes the love that you have from the birth of grandchildren or having grandchildren, I think that's what people mean. It just opens their eyes in a different way and it softens them some. So that's why I say it doesn't matter your age. A 10-year-old can teach a 70-year-old, you know, even if it's just teaching them to be softer, to be better, to be more loving, or to display their love. That's the thing. A lot of times parents are so busy with raising their kids so they don't always display their love the way they should. Not all parents, I'm not generalizing. This just how it is for some people, from people I've talked to, from things you see on TV, social media. Then when they have grandkids, it's like, okay, these are my children's children, but hopefully our relationship is good enough where when I see that something may be done, needs to be done a little differently, they will respect me enough. And most times you hear parents say, oh my gosh, I love my mom, I love my dad, but I just wish they wouldn't let him do this. I just wish they wouldn't let my son do that. So, it's just all about family, and it's just all about love. And it's all about trying to grow and all about just being better, just being better. Joshua says, I pray every day when God who blesses us. Yes, yes. My aunt is mean to my mother when I was not born yet, so I don't mess with my aunt. I just take care of my mom. My mom loves me so much. That's good, Joshua. That's good. That green vegan says grandkids are their second chance. Yeah, and truly it is. And sometimes people kind of get offended because they say, well, why didn't you get it right the first time? Because we're human. And we don't all get it right the first time. And we don't always make the right decisions when it comes to our grandchildren. Especially when, you're a young grandparent. Y'all, there are grandparents who are like 34, 36, 38 years old. So, and some of those are, they're still young enough to be parents right now. So, there are some people who are 34, 36, they're just now making some changes in their lives as far as their career, or deciding, okay, is this the job I want to keep, or do I want to get into something else so I can retire by 54? So, there are some grandparents who are young, and so you're not going to be perfect with your grandkids. But like that green vegan said, for some, it's a chance to get it right and to do it better. And the kids typically seem to understand that. They don't feel like, oh, she loves my children more than she loves me. Because believe you me, even though you do want your parents to love your kids to the moon and back, some people do feel a little put off if they feel like they didn't get the love they deserve, but their children are getting the love from their mom. But for the most part, I think people, they want their parents to love their kids like that. The closest thing to having someone to love your children the way that you do, the closest to that are their grandparents, or maybe an auntie and uncle. Those are the people who will love them, who they're not going to ever love them maybe like you do, but they'll come close to it. And some people say they even love them more than their parents did. And I think that's, maybe the case, but it may just be that they were able to show it in better ways than your parent did. They were able to show it better than they were. That's good, Joshua. Your dad's birthday is coming up on the 21st. 79? Okay. Joshua says his heavenly dad's birthday is coming up on February 21st. So yeah, sometimes they just, we don't get it right. We don't get things right. We don't have a manual that tells us how to do it perfectly. Some do it a lot better than others. Some do it okay, and some do it a lot worse than others. So, however you did it, hopefully you learn from it. And when that next generation comes along, those grandkids, you're able to help show some knowledge. That your children will know the things that you did with them that they didn't like. And of course, they're going to raise their kids accordingly. But when you see that things are going awry or not so good, offer your wisdom and advice. Tell them you understand if they're your children. I know you want to do this and you want to do that. But sometimes all you have to do is let someone know what your regrets are. And if they see something that they're doing and it seems to kind of align with something that you did that you didn't like or you wish you could change, sometimes they'll change it. Sometimes they'll change it. And again, at the end of the day, most kids know that their parents only want the best things for them and their children and their children and their children. Because I hear people every day say, if I had done that, mom would have had a fit. If I had done that, dad would have had a fit. Because they let the grandkids do any and everything to a degree. Any and everything to a certain degree. So it's been 42 minutes. And if you've come across this live, I hope you found some words to help you get through the rest of your night, the rest of your day, tomorrow, or just through some situation, whatever situation you're going through, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. I hope that you heard something here to help you through any situation that you may be facing right now. And if everything is cool and calm, that's so good. That's so good. If everything is cool and calm with you, that's good. Because as people, we go through things every day. Like people say, some people are coming out of a storm, some people are in a storm, and some people are heading to a storm. So at whatever point you are, try your best to stay focused. Try your best to remain calm. Easier said than done. But try your best to do that. Even if you can't remain calm, try to remain focused. Try to remain focused, okay? Thank you, that green vegan. Thank you, I appreciate you. Try to remain focused. Even if you can't stay calm. Even if you've got ants in your pants, you can't stay calm. Try your best to remain focused, determined and vigilant. Focused, determined, and vigilant. And whatever it is, good, not so good, if you can keep focused, hopefully everything is going to work itself out. Hopefully everything is going to work itself out. And I appreciate you, that green vegan, for coming in. I saw you the other day, sis. There was I saw your video the other day and I was at work, so I was in and out, but I caught it. It wasn't a long video, so I was able to catch most of what you're talking about. So just stay encouraged, stay focused on positivity and away from negativity. All right? Hi there, Shane S. How are you? Positivity and not negativity. Because y'all know what I say. Peace, positivity, and prosperity. Excuse me. Let me say that again. Peace, positivity, and prosperity. If there's no peace, there's chaos. If there's no positivity, there's negativity. Wherever chaos and negativity dwell together, mix and mingle, you fail to prosper to your fullest potential. You fail to prosper to your fullest potential. I want to prosper to my fullest potential, and I know each and every one of you want to prosper to your fullest potential. And if you have chaos and negativity around, it's hard to do that. It's hard to do that when everything is gravy. Gravy, wavy, gravy. When everything is wavy gravy, it's hard to do that. So, remove any chaos and any negativity from around you. Some things we can't control, but for the things that you can control them. Don't let bothered people bother you. Don't let bothered people bother you. I know, because it's dark outside. Don't let bothered people bother you. Don't let stressed people stress you. You know the old thing, misery loves company. That is true. But oftentimes, it's not so much that someone is miserable. Sometimes people are just stressed. And so they tend to stress you. If it's a loved one, someone you care about, of course, you be there. But sometimes people are just stressed and they want to stress you. Sometimes bothered people who are bothered, they want to bother you. So don't let bothered people bother you. Don't go into any place and leave that place with more stress than you went in with. You may not even feel like you're stressed at the time, but by the time you leave out of a certain area, You may feel totally stressed. So when you find yourself in areas that are stressful, leave. Whether it's an app, whether it's church, even if it's at home. Even if it's at home, take a walk around the block. Go up to the store. Go to Subway. Do something. Thank you, Shane S. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Do something. Joshua says no craziness and dizziness. Right. No craziness, no dizziness, no foolishness. Shane says you are very welcome. Thank you, Shane. No foolishness. Don't let these stressed out people stress you out. You know, you got enough going on. You have enough going on. You don't need anybody else's stress. You don't need anybody else's stress, and don't you stress anybody. Try your best not to stress anybody. You don't need it, and I'm sure you don't want it. You don't need it, and I'm sure you don't want it. So I'm almost to where I need to be. Thank goodness it wasn't a lot of loud music, you know. Now, as soon as I say that, someone is going to pass me with a lot of loud music, right? As soon as I say that, they're going to pass me with a lot of loud music. I can show you this. Sorry. People are so wild. I'm telling you, y'all. This new YouTube thing is good, but it just allows so many trolls to come along. But hey, as long as you don't get too crazy, give me the view. Because when you get crazy, I just got to get rid of you. I got to get rid of you. And a lot of times, y'all, it's not kids. Sometimes people blame kids for being trolls. It's not kids. It's these immature adults. It's immature adults who have nothing better to do, who have nothing to do. Some of them may even be at work. They may be at work bored. So they come on social media and they bother people. They disturb the peace. They disturb the peace. Or they try to. They try to. If you let them. They try it if you let them. Don't let them disturb your peace. Remember, peace, positivity, and prosperity. Thank you, Joshua. Exactly. Exactly. No trolls allowed in Lion's Pride. Exactly. It's very disrespectful. It's very disrespectful. But you know, some people live to be disrespectful. Some people live to be disrespectful. Some people live to be ornery, crazy, wild. And some people, remember what we were saying earlier, misery loves company. Sometimes they're getting a kick out of it, and they'll be quick to tell you that they're not miserable. Well, you may be finding joy, but there's something about you that's kind of miserable if you're on here trolling. Because you could be taking that time and energy and putting it into something else. Heck, you could even be getting some rest. You could be getting some sleep, but you'd rather be online on some app, whether it's red, blue, white, green, purple, whatever color it is. You'd rather be on some app harassing someone. Leave people alone. Leave people alone. So yeah, you may think it's funny, but it's something about you that's miserable. There's something going on with you that's miserable. And if you're not completely miserable, there's something going on that you don't like. There's something about you that you're not satisfied with. If you feel the need to attack others for no reason, there's something going on. Right, Joshua, true colors. You feel the need to come on here and sit, because most of them are sitting, lazy. See, they can't get up and move and walk like we do. They can. but they won't because they'd rather sit or ride and bother people. Bothered people bother people. Bothered people bother people. Joshua says people should mind their own business. Don't let anybody stop. Yes. Yep. Mind your own business. Like, mind your own business. And if there's something on here about somebody else's business that you don't like, then put your business on here. Since your business is 100% great, put yours on here and talk about that. Talk about that greatness. If you're not miserable, then don't tear someone else down. Talk about your greatness and try to spread that news. Spread that news. It's been 52 minutes. Do you think I should do an hour? 52 minutes. Should I do an hour? I thank you guys for coming into this live. If you catch the live replay, I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. If you didn't subscribe, I hope you come back and maybe you will subscribe. You've supported just by stopping through or taking a look for a second, a few seconds, a minute, however long you were here. So I appreciate that because you could be doing anything else and you may be doing a lot because we multitask, right? That's what we do. We multitask. We're often doing 2 or 3 things at a time. Oftentimes we're doing 2 or 3 things at a time. That's right there, Green Vegan. I had to do a roundup. It's so funny. Again, YouTube is pushing us out, but with the push out comes trolls. With the push out comes trolls. Joshua says right there, Green Vegan. With the push out comes trolls. And I'm trying to round this thing up. Let's just round it up. What is it? 53 minutes and 13 seconds. 53 minutes and 13 seconds. We need to do it. It's just like when you're at the checkout. Would you like to round up to contribute to this cause or this cause or this cause? Would you like to do a roundup? Yeah, Joshua, I had to get rid of them. I try to let them make it in here if they're good. When they aren't good, they gotta go. They gotta go. When they start asking all these weird questions, asking you all that crazy stuff that they know is inappropriate, that they know is not their business, and it's not even about it being their business. They're just asking dumb questions. They're just asking dumb questions. They're just asking dumb questions. So I even tell my mods, if Sonya or Jill or Chef Finest Wine is in here, Rock hadn't been in here in a while, but if they're in here, I tell them, let them make it for a little while. Let them make it, and when they just start acting real crazy, remove them. Remove them. We don't need that stress. We don't need that stress. We really don't, because they're just coming to make somebody else miserable, or they're just bored. They're just bored. Especially if it's just a silly troll, Misery loves company. Bored people get into bad things. They become nuisance. They become a nuisance. They become annoying. When people get bored, they get into bad things or silly things. Not always so much bad, but silly. That Green Vegan says, by the way, I love the inspirational quotes on the community wall. Yes, Vegan. That's what I feel like I always say, none of us are perfect. But when I see certain quotes and when I say certain things in my lives, those things aren't just to push it out to other people because I'm all together just right. It's because I'm using those quotes and I'm using the things that I'm saying to encourage myself as well as other people. To encourage myself as well as other people. Sometimes we have to encourage ourselves. Sometimes we really do have to encourage ourselves. And when I see those quotes, a lot of them are just so spot on. And a lot of them are just uplifting. They're uplifting. So I put them up there hoping that, I can look at it if I feel the need to and be inspired, or whoever sees the community wall can also be inspired. That's why I love those quotes. I love those quotes. And I always try to make sure they're attached to a lion or some other animal because this is Lion's Pride. Y'all know what I am, a shorts channel. And I really, really love wildlife. But I've been doing a lot of other things. Food, just whatever, anything. Relaxation techniques. Um, you have to, you know what? You have to really be careful with the things that you put on here for relaxation because YouTube will age restrict your stuff. When I got done working out the other day, all I did was make a muscle. I made a muscle and they age restricted it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So some of them, they'll take it off. Some of them, they won't. I had a leg massager. I was just massaging my leg. It was just a relaxation technique, just a relaxation tool. They age restricted that. But I said, hey, I'm just this is just a massage. I'm fully clothed. Nothing is explicit about it. And so they took the age restriction off of that one. They took the age restriction off of that one. So it just depends on who you get, I guess. Sometimes they'll take the age restriction off. Sometimes they won't. But yeah, I was just massaging my leg and then they took that one off. But the one where I just made a muscle, I simply made a muscle full clothed. And they age restricted it. So it's like you have to really be careful. And then I'm like, you guys let so much go on here. Y'all let all this stuff go on. And some of the most innocent content, you age restricted. A lot of times it's the most innocent stuff that they'll look at. Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Joshua says, last 2 days my weather was snow. It's been snowing there. 3 to 4 inches. Wow. And Friday, he says it was windy and sunny. The weather has been like that. It's been kind of a mild winter so far. And I've been talking about that too lately. Like the groundhog saw, what did they say? He didn't see his shadow, I think. And I think that's only happened like 11 times. So for those of you who use the groundhog as your measure or your tool by which you measure if we'll have a early winter or not, early spring or not, he didn't see his shadow. So if he doesn't see it, they say that there will be an early spring. So this winter has been up and down. It's been up and down, but it hasn't been as harsh as some. It hasn't been as harsh as some. That green vegan says not vegan food. No, I'm not a vegan. I'm not a vegan. From time to time, I will be just to kind of, I'll practice it. I'll put it that way. I don't live it full time, but from time to time, when you feel like your body just needs a break from meat and dairy, sometimes I'll, just for a few days, up to like a week or something like that, just to try to get things okay. When you just kind of feel like you're weighed down, sometimes I'll do a vegan diet for a few days. But no, to classify myself as a vegan, definitely not. But don't be fooled by my shorts either, because a lot of times my shorts are the things that people in my home want to eat. I don't necessarily eat them. Some of it, a lot of it I do, but a lot of it I don't. Well, not a lot of it I don't. A lot of it I eat. Some of it I don't. But if it's the smoothies and all that, my breakfast and all that stuff like that I upload as a short, I'm probably most likely eating that. I might pop on here and do some chocolate chip cookies because chocolate chip is my favorite. Chocolate chip cookies, chocolate chip ice cream, mint chocolate chip ice cream, anything chocolate chip is my favorite. Look at that green vegan laughing. Joshua says Mediterranean food is my favorite food for longevity. Yes, Mediterranean food is good. It's good. It's good. It is good. Hey, it's an hour. It's actually 1 hour and 1 minute. It's 1 hour and 1 minute. So on that note, I think this hour-long walk and talk cool down is over. I'm done, y'all. I'm done. Joshua says my favorite cookie is oatmeal peanut butter, and raisin cookies are my favorite. It's very healthy. Oatmeal peanut butter and raisin. Those sound good, Joshua. Yes, that green vegan. I did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. Y'all were here for most of the live. I appreciate that. I really, really do appreciate that. So I'm about to get out of here. Thank you guys for coming through. Much love to each and every one of you for coming through. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys on my next Let's Walk and Talk Live, which will probably be tomorrow. If it's cold outside, we're going to hit that elliptical tomorrow. Or I'll probably be on my elliptical anyway. So if it's cold outside, I'll just come on and do my cool down on my elliptical. Joshua says, have a good day, Lunch Pride. You too, Joshua, and thank you again for coming through. And please, you guys, check out That Green Vegan and Joshua Gabriel. I will do a shout out on my community wall. Also, check out Cool Gamer. Cool Gamer was in here earlier. M3 Minez was in here. So please check out all content creators who were in this live. Again, I will do a shout out on my community wall. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, y'all.